What's up, y'all? It's Jeffrey back here at Flippin' Profit. Got another complete guide, step-by-step video for you today. We're going to be taking a look at a VCR that I just recently sold. We're going to go over where I bought it, how I listed it, how much it sells for, and then how I shipped it. I like doing these videos for beginners to see, you know, every step-by-step kind of the process of when you find an item, and then, you know, how you market it in your listing, and then how much money that you're going to sell it for, and then how much it costs and the effort it takes to ship the item. So we're going to be looking at a RCA VCR. I just picked this up recently in a yard sale last weekend. I paid $5 for it. It was in pretty decent condition. It also had the manual and the remote with it. It showed a little bit of cosmetic wear, you know, but I mean, anything vintage electronics like that, it's gonna show some signs of wear on it. So once I got it back to the house, I tested it with a VHS, put some new batteries in the remote, and it worked great actually. It worked really well. So I also took some AV cables, those are audio video cables, put it together as a bundle. If I had a blank VHS tape, I would have added it as well just to add to the bundle. This gives your item a little bit more value, gives a little bit more incentive for someone to choose your VCR over somebody else's at the same price, you know what I mean, because they get those few extra items. And so after you test it out, get it cleaned up and take some pictures, it's time to list it on eBay. So we're just going to do a quick rundown of how I set up this listing, showing you the title and some other specifics. We're not going to go step by step on how to build a listing, you know. I'm just going to give you like the mandatory things that you need to know to list something like this. First off, of course, is the title. So I put RCA VR622HF, which is the model number of the VCR, and then followed that up with VCR 4-head hi-fi VHS player recorder with manual remote AV cable. And the category was already pre-selected for me. It is a vintage audio and video VCR, so that is the right category. This is store categories. This is just a personal category of mine for my eBay store. If you have an eBay store and you don't utilize the categories, I recommend you do that because it definitely helps people navigate through your store. The UPC does not apply. And here where it says condition description, if you've seen some of my videos in the past, you know that I just use kind of a generic saying here, good working condition, because it is. And then the pictures, I'll do a quick little rundown to show you the different pictures that I take. I like to do, you know, the first picture to give an overview of everything that you're purchasing, and then I go show you the front of the VCR left to right. I just took a picture of this sticker just because it was there. Showed a little bit of the damage that it shows on top of the VCR, and then same thing on the back, showing the back of it left to right, and a little zoom in on the serial number and model number and stuff like that, and then just isolate a video of the extras that you're gonna get. I also like to show the battery cover open on the remote to let people know that there's no battery corrosion or anything like that, so that they can see it's going to work well. So next up is the item specifics, and I actually did an eBay search, put in that RCA and the VR622HF, the model number. That's all I did. I hit search, went to completed items, and found a VCR just like mine, and I clicked sell one like this. So most of these item specifics were already put in. To be honest, I think all of them were. So I didn't even have to mess with any of this. I looked over it to make sure it was correct with the model that I have, and everything was good. So playable media, VHS, brand, RCA, the model number here. MPN does not apply. If I wanted to, we could have just copied the model number and put it there as well. Number of heads, 4, country, region of manufacturer, Japan, and that's basically it. The rest of it we just leave blank. And down in the description, once again, this is just the same stuff I put in almost all my listings. It's the same type of description. It is in good working condition, fully functional. It shows some signs of cosmetic wear. See photos. Comes with the original manual, remote, and AV cables. Please look at all pictures and ask any questions, and thanks for looking. So next we move on to the selling details. The format, I went with fixed price. I set the price for $49.77 because I saw that's what a lot of other ones were selling for. I allowed best offer, quantity 1, and then for my state in Louisiana there is a sales tax, so I have to put in 4.45% sales tax. So if you're from Louisiana and you purchase from my eBay store, you're going to get taxed that as well. And then after that, it's on to the shipping details. This might look different than other people. They changed how this looks recently, at least for me. So I'm just going to kind of show you payment policy. That's your PayPal email and stuff like that. Shipping policy, though, this is really what you need to pay attention to. I like choosing Smart Post. This is FedEx Smart Post for any big heavy items that I have, because it allows 2 to 8 business days for the shipping time. So even if I choose this, but then I go with like FedEx Home Delivery, which only takes like 2 to 3 days shipping time, I will still meet the shipping deadlines. eBay's got a new guaranteed shipping date now. So say if I make my default FedEx Home Delivery, which only allows like 2 to 3 shipping days, and then someone buys it, they're going to expect it within 2 or 3 days. So if I then go back and change it to Smart Post because it's cheaper for me, well, now that changes the delivery date, and you might get a strike for that. So that's why I like using Smart Post as my default. In this case, I also left it free shipping. And my return policy, I do accept returns up to 30 days, but the buyer pays shipping. That only counts if it doesn't show up damaged or something like that. If it shows up damaged, then I'm going to have to pay for the shipping back if they want to return it. But that's basically it. I leave my package dimensions and weight empty. I put that in afterwards after it sells, and I've packaged it up and weighed it and measured it. But if you want to, you can go ahead and do that beforehand and put this stuff in. It really doesn't matter. After that, it's just the promotional stuff they have here. So all that's left after that is just to list the item. And now this doesn't always happen, but when it does, it'll leave you thinking, should I have asked more for that? But after I listed the item, literally within an hour, someone bought it full price. So I know I did my research. I know I got what I was asking for, so you can't complain about that. But like I said, sometimes you'll be thinking like, should I have maybe put a little bit more on that? But you shouldn't think that way, because the truth is, if you price your items competitively and someone buys it flat out for what you were asking for, then that means you just did everything right. And in this case, I think that is what happened. It came with the manual, came with the remote, had AV cables as well. So, I mean, for me to be asking only $50 with free shipping, that's a pretty good deal. A lot of other ones were just the VCR alone for $50 with free shipping. So, and you know, I've been kind of holding back on doing a VCR video or whatever, trying to wait until I get like a DVD recorder to show how to sell it and box it up and stuff. Mostly just because those are much more expensive. You know, those can go from anywhere to $100 to $150, $200 sometimes. But I thought, you know what, the cheaper one is actually the better one to show. That way you can see that even something that, you know, I paid $5 for and only got $50 for, I'm about to show you how I packaged it up and I shipped it, and you'll see that there's still plenty of profit to be made. So how we're going to ship this thing is, first things first, I'm going to take the AV cables and the remote, wrap them up separately in some bubble wrap, and set those and the manual to the side. And then we're going to pull out a lot of bubble wrap, the small bubbles anyways, and I'm going to set the VCR kind of in the center of it. That way I can put a layer of bubble wrap over the top of it, and that makes it easier for me to wrap it in bubble wrap. I'll only have to make one full spin with it, and it's going to wrap 2 layers of the small bubble wrap around it. And then I'm going to use some tape to tape it on there tightly. And then we're going to go to some big bubble wrap. These are actually the perforated squares. So I'm going to count out 4 squares and then fold it in half so that I get 2 layers of bubble wrap here. And I'm gonna place the bubble wrap down, and then I'm gonna set the VCR kind of in the center of it, trying to use that bubble wrap to cover up the face of the VCR, because you don't want any of the buttons and stuff getting damaged. While at the same time, it's also putting a lot more space between the bottom and the top of the VCR, and that's gonna be better for packaging later on. But on the back side, just to save a little bit of bubble wrap, I only used 1 layer of bubble wrap. It doesn't really have buttons and stuff back there, so I'm not too worried about it getting messed up. But same process, just tape it around the back side of the VCR. And once we're done with that, we're gonna get our box, and this box is pretty big. This is a perfect size box to me though when it comes to shipping these big long rectangle VCRs and receivers and other stuff like that. This is the medium size from Home Depot. So we'll set it down in the center of it. I'm gonna put the remote and stuff to one side to help fill in some space, and we'll just place the manual right on top of it. And if you look inside, you'll see there's some space left around the edge, and normally I have like some air jackets, just some fill-in bubbles to fill in those spaces, but I ran out right now. So another alternative is this advertisement paper. This is a little tip for you. If you ever see your mailman coming by, just ask them, if they have advertisement papers left over, because a lot of times when they're putting out those brochures and stuff, they have lots of them that they end up just throwing away, and they'll give them to you. They'll give you a big stack of them to you if you just ask them. So I like to use that for filler sometimes when I need to, and so I'm just going to take a lot of this newspaper type material and stuff it around the side of the VCR. So now that it's nice and snug in there, I'm going to start shaping the box down, and just to save time in this video, we're going to cut through this, but if you want more on how to ship big items, then check out this video right here. You can either click the card at the top of the video, or the link will be in the description. So this is what it looks like when it's finished. We're going to weigh it out and take measurements and then go on to the computer. So now we're looking at the shipping page, and eBay also just recently changed this page up. It looks a little bit different, but essentially everything is the same. So we're going to put in the weight, which is 9 pounds 14 ounces. And then we're going to put in the dimensions, 22 by 17 by 6. And we're going to hit update. One thing I do like about this new shipping page is that it puts your cheapest option at the top. So even though we chose FedEx Smart Post, it went ahead and changed it for us to FedEx Ground, because it's only $17.34. And like I was telling you earlier, because I chose Smart Post and it has such a big allotment time for the item to get there, we can go ahead and choose FedEx Ground and we'll still meet the delivery date requirements. So that's going to be our best option. FedEx Ground, like I said, $17.34. And just to show you a quick comparison, if we went with the United States Postal Service, look at that. USP Priority Mail Package would be $33. So a lot cheaper to go with FedEx on these big heavy items like this. And really quick, I just want to go over, this is the Seller Profit Calculator app on my phone, just to show you how much money we made on this transaction. So I already punched everything in. Seller format is fixed price. 30 days are good till canceled. The original cost of the item was $5. The shipping cost is $17.34. Final sale price was $49.77. Yes, I'm top rated. Yes, I have an eBay store. There was no insertion fee, but my PayPal fees are around 4%. So once we hit calculate, it's going to show us at the bottom here how much profit we made. So there you go, $21.61. That's pretty good profit. You know, most people see a big box and think that there's no money to be made, especially if you only sold it for $50 with free shipping, but there's proof right there. $5 invested to gain $21.61. So that's awesome. So I hope that shows you just how simple it is. After you get the basics down, it's the same thing over and over again. It can feel a little bit repetitive, but when you watch those numbers keep climbing, nothing really matters after that. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any more big flips. If you're new to my channel and you want more tips on how to sell on eBay, check out some of my playlists. And if you're new at reselling and need some shipping supplies on the cheap, check out some of my affiliate links down in the description. If you purchase something through one of those links, I make a small commission on it, and it directly helps support the channel, so I appreciate it. Thanks to each and every one of you for watching my videos, and until I see you next time, keep flipping.